I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on this look right here. I am so in love with this look and so happy because you know how sometimes you envision a look in your mind and then you sit down and you actually try to do it and you're like, wah, it does not look the same. Like, I literally dream about makeup pretty often, and I'll wake up and like before even doing my makeup, before even washing my face, I'll run to my vanity and start doing my makeup like I dreamt it, and I'm like, it's not the same, it doesn't look as pretty. Well, this was the total opposite. Like, I saw this look in my mind and then I sat down on camera and did it today, and I was like, thank God it's coming together. So I absolutely love the way this looks. About a week ago, I was on Snapchat wearing this lip combo right here. I'm getting those like screenshotted images from Snapchat several times a day, every day, because people are still asking about what combo it was. So I figured I had to do a video with this lip combination. Obviously, people were liking it on Snapchat. I just didn't know what eye look to pair with it to make it worth it for a tutorial, you know? So last week I ordered from Sephora every single one of the new Pat McGrath eye pigments, and I got them in the mail on Saturday night, and I just opened them yesterday, and the second I saw this color, I was like, done, done. I use the Kylie Burgundy palette in this look as well. I have to say I really like this palette and the colors in it. I don't like the first one, but that's just my personal preference. Like, that's not because the color is like bad or anything. I just don't like it on my skin tone. I think it's kind of dull on me, but all the other colors I really, really like, and they have good color payoff. Oh God, this eyelash is driving me cuckoo magoo. But anyways, yeah, that's it. I hope that you guys enjoy this makeup tutorial. If you get inspired by this in any way, shape, or form, please make sure to tag me. Recently, I have been getting into bed at night and laying down and just going through my tagged images, seeing everything that you're doing, and it just inspires me so much. I love it when I see you guys get inspired from one of my looks, but then you like do it with totally different colors and it doesn't even look the same, but it's still so cool that like I was the one that inspired you, and then your look is so different that you inspire me back in return. I don't know, it's like the circle of life. I just love it. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Mwah! Bye.
Hey guys, just a quick disclaimer. Please don't mind my voice. I'm feeling a little under the weather right now, so I know it's not the normal. But I'm going to start off with today's look by priming my face. And I'm using the Guerlain face primer, which has quickly become my favorite one. And then I'm going to drench my face. As you're going to see, I'm literally going to give myself a shower in some MAC Fix Plus, just because I was feeling really dry this day. And I did a mask before this, and then I wanted to just douse myself in Fix Plus. That way my foundation goes on really dewy and creamy, and it doesn't like stick to any dry patches. I'm going to be using the Cover FX Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation. It is a full coverage, but it is also very hydrating. It has a natural finish. I think it has more of a dewy finish personally on me, which I love. I am going to be using my beauty blender to apply this, which is definitely kind of different and out of the normal for me. I used to love beauty blenders. I've kind of gotten away from them as far as my foundation application recently. And I will say, I just think that I just don't think it gives you a full coverage finish, which is what I'm going for. And on me personally, I feel like it's a little patchy. I just prefer a brush for some reason. But on my under eye, I live, breathe, die, and sneeze for a beauty blender. Like, it is my absolute #1 way to blend out my under eye. So I am using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, which has quickly become my favorite concealer of all time. If you guys haven't tried it yet, I strongly recommend it. It is amazing. Full coverage. It sets itself. You honestly don't even need to use a powder if you don't want to. It's beautiful. Then I'm going to go in with my RCMA No Color Translucent Powder. I spilled it all over my pants. Oh, it was so sad. But I am using this just to strictly set the under eye, and I am using a pouncing motion and not swiping. If you swipe, it'll totally defeat the purpose. So just pounce up and down, and that's what will set the concealer all day and keep it matte. Then for the face, I'm going to use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Face Powder. I'm going to set it with a big, huge mama powder brush. And then I'm going to go in with the Kylie Burgundy Face Palette. I'm going to use that second color, top and center. It's a very nice kind of warm, medium tone matte brown. I'm going to pick up a blending brush. This is the Morphe M411. As always, it's always my first brush to go in with. I'm going to just begin to buff this in the crease, going back and forth in windshield wiper motions. I'm keeping it just as pigmented in the inner corner as I am in the outer corner. Once I have less pigment on that brush and there's barely any eyeshadow left, I will take it and swoop it up towards the tail of the brow just to really give that nice and blended and faded out effect. And it will also help us create kind of more of a cat eye look, which is the shape that I typically go for. Even if I don't want it to be dramatic, I always want a very subtle cat eye look because it just makes your eyes look very awake when they're kind of like pulled upward and back towards the temple. I'm going to continue just to put more of that medium brown shade on from the Kylie palette until it's like the color that I'm desiring. Then I'm going to pick up the Pat McGrath pigment in the shade Bronze, and it comes with the Mayron mixing liquid. So I'm just going to dip my brush in that and go ahead and apply it all over the lid. It literally applies like water, like when you've never experienced anything like it. It goes on literally like water. And what I'm going to do is I'm using a synthetic brush. This is the MAC 242. I'm going to put that all over my entire lid, and then once it kind of dries a little bit, I'm taking it up into my crease and kind of blending it in with that matte brown color. Now you'll see later how I really blended this out and made it work, but at this moment, I'm just putting it all over the lid, and then once it dries a little bit, I'm going to take it in that crease and then kind of just go back and forth in windshield wiper motions. I did pick up a pencil brush to blend it out just with a totally blank pencil brush with nothing on it, and I was like, it looks good, but it could look better. I went in with a second layer because as you can see when you do a second layer, it like pops like crazy. Like one layer is beautiful, but to me, a second layer is even better. So I wanted it to really have that intense like show-stoppin', poppin' effect. Then for the brows, as always, I'm using the Anastasia Brow Definer. I feel like nothing will ever take me away from this. We are in a full committed relationship. I'm using the shade Chocolate and then blending it out with a spoolie. Gonna go back in with that exact same color and begin to put it on my lower lash line. And for this, I am using the M506. This is by Morphe. I use this brush a lot in this tutorial. I've been loving it recently. And as you'll see, I'll use this brush to create a really soft cat eye effect. And you'll see how easy it is with this brush. And I don't know why I've never discovered this before, but it just makes it so simple. I barely have any products on my brush, and I'm just going to kind of wing it out towards the tail of my brow. Then as you'll see, I'll connect it towards my upper eyeshadow, and it'll just give me a really, really soft cat eye effect, and I just love it. Then this is just a tip. If you ever have your brows too dark and you feel like it just needs to be lightened up, take some translucent powder on a brush, dust it over top, grab a brush or a spoolie and just kind of run over it and blend it out, and it will just naturally lighten the color of your brow if you go a little too ham like I tend to do sometimes. Then I'm going to pick up this color at the very bottom left side of the palette. Wait, is that right? Bottom left? Huh? If you're looking at it, it's bottom right. I need to get it together, guys. I am not feeling the best. My brain is not really working today. But with a definer brush, I'm going to put that right on the lash line just to give the eye look a little bit more pop. Then for the inner corner highlight, I'm going to use Mary Luminizer by The Balm. This is a MAC brush. I love it, and I don't know the name of it, but it's like the teensiest little MAC brush of all time. And I'm just going to use that to pop it on the very inner corner of my eye. And then I'm going to be using some mascara. I don't know what mascara this is actually. It's from Sephora, and I was not a fan at all. It was very watery. So anyways, I'm going to go in with Flutter Lashes number 207. Very flirty, very fluffy, very long, dramatic, but not so over the top that it's like, oh, damn girl, calm down. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these on. I am using the House of Lash lash glue. I get asked all the time what glue I use because I don't show it in my videos. The House of Lashes lash glue, I think it's $9, and it is my absolute favorite of all time. I mean, they will not budge with that glue. It's like super glue. But don't get scared. It's not actually super glue. I'm going to use MAC Give Me Sun bronzer in this huge bronzer brush. This is the E2 bronzer brush by Morphe. My two favorite bronzer brushes are this and the Tom Ford bronzer brush, but obviously there is an insane price difference. So if you're looking to save money, I would definitely try out the E2 by Morphe because it's my favorite next to the Tom Ford. I'm going to blend this all over my entire face. I always start on the cheekbones and forehead, but then I kind of take the brush where there's really not much product left on it, and I just kind of go over everything on the outer corner of my face, avoiding the center, just to make sure that it's totally blended. And then I'm going to grab a beauty blender with more of that RCMA translucent powder, And I'm going to kind of just lightly sculpt out. I don't want this to be too intense. I don't want to make this look like a straight contour because it definitely has a more terracotta, warm, almost orangey undertone. So I don't want to do that. I just thought that it looked really messy down there and it was kind of making like the lower half of my face look a little bit bigger than it was. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit to give myself a little bit of structure. Now for blush, I'm going to be using the Marc Jacobs blush in the shade 502. It's a really pretty like corally pink shade. I love the formula of these blushes. They're so nice, very creamy and blendable. Then for my brows, of course, I'm using the clear brow gel by Anastasia. I swear, it's such a simple thing, but if I don't have clear brow gel, I feel like I can't leave the house. It's like one of the most important things to me in my makeup collection. I'm going to pick up the super shimmery kind of golden bronzy shade in the Kylie palette. It reminds me a lot of Amber Lights from MAC. It's just a pinch darker. And with that same definer brush that I used on the lower lash line earlier to put that chocolatey brown, I'm going to put it in the inner corner because I want kind of an all over bronzy gold effect. I'm using MAC Eye Kohl in the shade Fascinating to kind of open up the eye. I'm going to apply that on the waterline. Then, of course, I'm going to just put some mascara on my lower lashes. Of course, I feel like this just completes any eye look. And then I'm going to grab some MAC Amber Lights because I just felt like this eye look really needed this. And the Kylie shade was just a little too dark for what I needed. So I'm going to grab that same M506 brush that I was using earlier. I'm going to just blend it on the inner corner only. And it made such a difference. It's exactly what this look needed. And I felt like, okay, finally, this look is complete. It just blended everything out since it is a similar color as the Pat McGrath, but just a little bit lighter and a little less metallic. It just really made everything come together and look really beautifully blended. I can't talk today. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to go in with the Tarte Skin Twinkle Palette Volume 2. My goodness, that sounds like it's a book. I'm going to be highlighting the tops of my cheekbones, my Cupid's bow, basically my whole face. You know how I do. But after I applied this basically everywhere, I realized I thought it was a little bit too of a white silvery highlight for this look specifically. I was like, I feel like it just stands out too much and I don't want my highlight to stand out too much. Do not crucify me for saying that. But I wanted my eyes to be the star of the show and not necessarily my cheek highlight. So I kind of rubbed it down with my finger and then went in with the Anastasia Glow Kit and picked up the shade White Sand and applied that over top. I would use Champagne Pop, but I feel like I use it all the time. Mama needs to take a break. People call me out for using Champagne Pop too much. Never! So I'm going to just apply that right over top, and I felt like it just made much more sense to the overall look. It wasn't as white. It had more of a golden base, and that's what I really needed. For the lips, I'm going to go in with Kylie Cosmetics Vixen Liquid Lipstick. I will say if you're going to wear this by itself without a gloss or anything over top, you're definitely going to need the matching lip liner. I wore it by itself a couple weeks back, and from personal experience, you have to apply the lip liner all over the lip first if you want it to go on smooth and not patchy and wear beautifully. Since I'm going to go in with a gloss over top, I'm just going to put it straight on the lips, and then I'm going to be applying Kylie Cosmetics Jolly Lip Gloss. No, this is not sponsored. No, Kylie did not hit your girl up and tell me or ask me to do this. Believe it or not, she actually has no idea. And I don't think she even gives a tiny rat's ass about me doing this right now. But I really love this lip combination. I think it's beautiful. Just a tip when you're applying dark lip gloss, just don't apply it too close to the very, very, very edge of your mouth. Otherwise, it will start to bleed throughout the day and get messy. Last but not least, I'm going to spritz the face with some MAC Fix Plus so that we glow all day and you're good to go. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you love it and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Bye, guys.